welcome back to another episode of Frolfcenter, presented by Frolfer Magazine. It's the last Thursday before Halloween, the 28th of October, everybody.
What'd you dress up as, bud?
Dude, I just had to show up as the fun guy.
The fun guy, yeah.
That's all I'm here for.
You get the Braves hat on, though, so that's good.
Yeah, go Braves.
Go Braves.
Just first and foremost, make sure you check out all our social medias, like, follow, subscribe, all that good jazz that everybody always says.
We need
I'm
the
Austin
internet
Lytle.
points.
Adam. Yeah, internet points, whatever,
Yeah,
dude.
we need them, dude. We were supposed to have them by now. It's been
How you
a
been,
year.
bro?
Anyway, I'm Adam. Hi. I'm repping the Deckner Avenue Yacht Club tonight. Shout out to those boys. Real quick, Sunday service at Pergerson Park on Sunday morning. Sign up at 8:30. Tee off at 9. It's spooky Sunday service. There's going to be it's the short pads. There's a costume contest. Costume contest winner gets a pair of Gooder sunglasses, $50 cash, some other miscellaneous stuff, a $30 GGU gift card, and also in the boxes behind me right now, that's all the new Frolfer stuff that's coming out in like 3 weeks, and we're going to give some of it away on Sunday. Never before seen swag from Frolfer as well. So Sunday service, Pergerson Park, 8:30 sign up, 9 a.m. tee off, Sunday morning, Halloween, wear your best costume, have a good time. If I really hope somebody wears one of those inflatable T-Rex costumes. That's what I hope. ADGO Bag Tag Finale coming up on November 14th. More info on Atlanta Disc Golf's Facebook page. Also, this Saturday, if you're not doing the Fall Friday, the Fall Flex with Jaybird, and you're not doing anything else, we still have an ADGO one last monthly bag tag round at JP Mosley. We're playing all 27 holes. Look it up on Disc Golf Scene. Philo Braithwaite's doing a clinic up at Etowah sometime this weekend. So that's cool. Check out the Etowah page for that. And our boy Ryan Sage is at Halloween rocking the Braves the Ted hat. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, hilariously, James. Oh boy, that's a lot. Thanks, Ryan Sage. Anywho, let's get right to it since I think this night is on a path already. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. Frolfcenter's going to be around for a while. I'm sorry, Foundation. So we figured we ought to start some traditions around here. Last year we did the New Year's Eve show and everybody came on. We had like 15 guests. It was awesome. But last Halloween, we couldn't find a better guest to have than George Fiorini of Dark Ace Apparel. Dark Ace Apparel is a heavy metal disc golf clothing brand. They do charity work. They have hella social media. They've had commercials. You probably saw the commercial at USTGC. So we figured, why not just bring George on every Halloween? So, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. George Fiorini from Dark Ace Apparel.
What up?
Yes!
What up?
That is, let me get you on the big screen there. Oh, you can get the Dark Ace on the, yes.
Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Well done, sir.
Thank you for wearing a mask, indeed.
No,
What is this? What is this code in the back? Are you giving us a promo code? Is this Joe Rogan now?
Whoa! This isn't going to last. I've been wearing this thing for too long in the backstage.
I saw you, and I was like, oh, man, I hope I can get through this quick.
Oh, yeah. So, boom. Little discount code for everybody that's watching. So, if you go to the website, enter Frolf666, give you 10% off your first order. Also,
Dude, Frolf666. I got to change my password on everything now. Shit.
Also, the fifth person to place an order with using that code, we have a Halloween tournament that's coming up this Sunday. It's our annual Revenge of the Bunker Baby tournament. It's like a local course here. But next week, we're also launching Bunker Baby bundles, which will be a disc, a towel, and a Bunker Baby pen. But the fifth person to use this code while placing an order is going to receive one of these.
Okay. Real quick, George, before we get into the regular show, I would be remiss in my journalistic disc golf duties to ask, what the fuck is a Bunker Baby?
So the Bunker is this really dope course that we started installing here in St. Louis last year, midsummer area. And it's on a plot of land that basically was a military barracks back in the day, right? And it's the part of land it's on is entirely woods now. It was really, really thick when we started getting into it, and still really is. But it's where a lot of the community that was on the barracks would go to hang out. So there was like some playgrounds, and there was a swimming pool. But while we were back there doing our work, we kept finding like random things like toy guns and just random things. And we found this creepy as hell baby doll on one of the holes. And I've got a picture of it somewhere. But what we did was we actually we propped it up on one of these like concrete bunker looking things that was on one of the holes. And we made a shrine to it. And basically you would walk up and you would give a gift to the bunker baby as, passage for the course. Unfortunately, someone stole that baby and destroyed the shrine not too long after we started doing it. And so now we do a Halloween tournament every year that's called the Revenge of the Bunker Baby. So it's not only because the course is stupid hard and it's all in the woods and it will just eat you alive, but also because I'm hoping whoever destroyed the shrine plays this tournament and just always encounters the Revenge of the Bunker Baby.
Or just goes into financial ruin or ends up in the Squid Game. Hey, real quick, you could definitely make this like a winter Bunker Baby thing, do a Toys for Tots Christmas thing and encourage people to bring baby dolls and just do like a charity baby doll Toys for Tots Bunker Baby doll thing.
I was actually trying to figure out what I was going to do for Christmas.
Yeah.
Started and tossed around a lot of ideas. I didn't do a tournament last year, but I wanted to do one this year. And I actually really, really like that idea.
Get after it, bud.
Hell yeah.
all the props for it too.
We'll sponsor a hole. Hit us up. We'll sponsor 2 holes.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah. Well, of course you will.
So how have you guys been? It's been a minute. Thanks for having me back on.
Hell yeah, bro. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, you're now I think our second 3-time guest because you had your show. Are you 4 times now? You had your show. You had New Year's.
I think.
And this is 3 then, right?
Yeah, this is 3.
This is perfect. Yeah, I think it's like you, Ryan Harris, Versola, and like a couple of like local dudes have been on 3 times.
Oh,
and Barry Schultz got 2, so that's pretty good.
Hell yeah.
Barry Schultz is the man, dude. I got to meet him at USDGC, and
were you at USDGC this year?
Yeah. What's crazy about when I met Barry Schultz though, and I think the reason I want to share this story and kind of digress just a hair is I went up there the weekend before USDGC. They actually do the USDGC doubles main event. So I had run a qualifier here in St. Louis for that. We sent 3 teams out there, and so I was like, I'm going to go out there because that sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. Yep. And sure enough, we're walking down hole 5, I believe it was. Yep, hole 5. And the spotter was Barry Schultz. The legendary disc golf player is literally spotting and just hanging out on hole 5 all day. And I was just like, this is the absolute coolest. I actually had to tell a couple people, I'm like, you know who that is, right? And they're like,
right.
Yeah, it's Barry fucking Schultz.
Anybody you had to tell is definitely rocking a dark horse zone. Like if you had to tell someone that's Barry Schultz, they have a dark horse zone in their bag. 100%. Just saying. New blood, we say.
I
right?
appreciate the joke.
Mm-hmm. Right. For folks who don't know, like we know you, and obviously we're friends. We're talking like we're friends. If somebody is tuning in for the first time and they don't understand what Dark Ace Apparel does or where it fits in disc golf, give us the sales pitch. Give us what happens when like somebody walks up to your vendor booth at USDGC and goes, so what do you guys do?
Yeah, so we are metal-inspired disc golf apparel. But honestly, like that's what our heart is, right? But honestly, what we are more about is just bringing a little bit of edge to the sport that we love, right? And that doesn't necessarily just have to be always like super evil stuff, right? But it's just about bringing something different. We say we're for everyone, but not for everyone, you know? That's us, man. I mean, like right now we just launched this one. This is our Black Flag kind of ripoff.
It's so good. It's so good.
With, there's a little bit of an obvious thing going on there with the baskets.
I love it.
But then we have like other designs that are a little bit more subtle, with just like the Anarchy logo on the front with some crossed baskets on the back. It's kind of an ode to like New York hardcore and stuff.
Yep. We talked about that last time. Rest in peace, my cousin Pat, DMS group. So yeah.
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 But that's what we're about. And I mean, like I said, it's just about adding something different to the sport that we love and trying to bring people together. And honestly, it's also our way of growing the sport too, right? So like there was actually a funny comment that was made on one of our designs last year. It was like this metal font that was like just like the kind of unreadable scribbles.
The death metal font. Yeah.
Yeah, and then on the back was the bone basket, but this guy was commenting more so like being like, yeah, how's somebody supposed to know this is like disc golf? You know, they're gonna think this is a band shirt. And I was like, exactly, like that's the whole point, right? Because when somebody comes up and they're like, yo, what band is that? And I say, oh, it's not a band, this is a disc golf shirt. Like, and they're like, I didn't know disc golf could be this, right? So it's introducing a whole nother demographic to the sport that may otherwise have not been introduced to it or found the appeal in it, right? So
there's like three. In my opinion, there are three kind of sects of disc golf. You've got the jockey preppy PGA Titleist guys. You've got the Revolution 311 bullhole guys, and then there's like you and us to some extent, and that weird little like in Kirby's disc golf world, those guys, you know, that weird little like, hey guys, like everybody plays this. Can we just pretend like everybody plays this sort of thing, right? Yeah. You guys, and how long has Dark Ace been around? Is it 3 years already?
No, we're coming up on 2 years now.
Coming up on 2 years. Okay.
Coming up on 2 years, but I mean, honestly, the first like I would say up until pretty much about 4 months ago, it was primarily I was just doing it online. I try to make it to some of our local stuff. Like I really owe a lot to the St. Louis Disc Golf Club. They like allowed me to start vending at our local doubles league.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I really started to get some footing and some support. And I did Ledgestone last year, but I wasn't really like hitting it hard, right? It was like this thing that I did, and I had a full-time job and whatever. And then about 4 months ago, after the pushing of, those close to me, and a big shout out to my girlfriend. That's awesome and wants to support me on this endeavor.
She sees the value in it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now there's like this. She was just like, you got to do this now. You're riding the right part of the wave. Yeah. If I don't do it, then there's been a lot, and I'm not saying that I don't like to see this. I obviously love to see it, but there's been like some other brands that are starting to like catch on that like, oh, like we can do some like kind of darker stuff, and this is cool. Nobody's really like started to do the metal thing, which thankfully, but I
feel the same way about trap beats and everyone's commercials. I'm like, it's trap beats and everyone's commercials, and I'm like, oh. I used to build them.
The thing is, I need to come out with Dark Ace Productions and like have like, Slayer Branding Blood be the intro. And
yeah. Right.
Yeah, basically, she was just like, yeah, you need to do this now, or like you're gonna regret it like down the road, and somebody else is gonna beat the punch. So that's when I made the decision to really kick it up a notch. It was late in the season, yes, but it was also a way to see just how viable this whole thing was. So that's why I started doing the travels and stuff.
It's incredible. Yeah, it's incredible that because it's been 2 years and you guys have exploded. And then this was, I have in the notes here is like, well, this was a breakout year for you. It really was, right? That's not hyperbole.
Yeah, no, it's been like, let's just say this. I like was doing doing some numbers the other day and was like, holy shit, I would have guessed half of that.
Really, you had time to breathe and stop and pause and go, wait a minute, we've built this much already.
Yeah, and it's really, really surreal, honestly, because to me, what it's just been is this like really fun, awesome ride with with the challenges here and there, but it's just been like, it hasn't felt like it's been as big as people tell me. Like, I don't like try to like buy into that too much. Like, I just try to get it into people's hands. And to me, like whenever I'm on the road and I like get to see people wearing it, like that's just nuts to me. And like whenever people are like sending me, Jomez or Gatekeeper or other, footage, and there's like somebody in the background wearing something like that, I think that's sick. But like, I definitely just didn't realize just how much like we have done this year. And it's hard to like I try to. I'm not good with compliments, and I'm not good with accepting good things for myself.
This is a week after the earliest point that you could have just assessed the year. So I'm just like hitting you with a lot of like, hey man, I'm sure you're in the middle of your refractory period. Let me just hit you with these hard hitting questions. But like this was your year. I mean, you guys did a bunch this year.
Yeah. And honestly, like that's what I'm saying too. Like it's crazy. Like looking back on it, yes, we have done a lot, but to me, I'm like, we didn't do near as much as I wanted to do.
Well, your vision, you have a big vision. You're a guy with a big vision, and this year you said, I'm going to grind this out.
But let me give a big shout out to the Team Maple Hill Diamonds. So they're like I don't know if you know much about like the Northeast sector, but like they have this dope thing that they do every winter where like, excuse me, there's several different teams throughout the Northeast that compete against each other at like their home courses and stuff. And
I've heard about this through Zach Smith, shout out here in Atlanta, but yes.
Yeah. So there's a team out of Maple Hill called the Team Maple Hill Diamonds. And I sponsored them last season and got really like, I was already tight with this guy named Tom Ireland. And he's like the co-captain. And then he just basically like festered this. And they're honestly, that team is the reason that like the main reason I was able to drive all the way from St. Louis all the way out to Maple Hill to, vend at the MVP Open, right?
They made it work for you.
Yeah. And on top of that though, like they were the ones that day one, on top of like some other like homies they're out there as well. But like the whole team showed up in force, like wearing the gear and telling people about it and just spreading the word. And like, I owe a lot to them. But yeah, being able to go to Maple Hill, and then I came back and then did the St. Louis Open, which was our biggest. It was a record-setting St. Louis Open. We had right around 500 people out at the St. Louis Open, which to anybody that's thinking about where they should be going next year on their season, St. Louis Open. Just put it in your calendar.
All right.
It's like September 16th, 17th, something like that.
Perfect little betweener there. Very good warm up to head to Charlotte and do a bunch of Charlotte.
Well, even if you're not like a major like touring pro, if like you're like an AM or like or you just
didn't qualify for USGGC. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a great place to come. St. Louis is the shit. We'll show you.
You make a lot of beer there. I know that.
There's a lot of beer, which makes me feel really bad that I'm drinking this right now when I could be drinking some of these beers.
Okay, so I'm drinking. I didn't shout this out earlier. Arches right down the street in Hapeville. I'm drinking Black Gold, and someday someone will figure out all the clues that I've left in all these episodes, but they will figure it out and see this one and go, "Oh, that was obvious." But anyway, regardless,
packaging.
Yeah, the packaging is really, they always do really, really well with it. I want to talk about, because last time you were on, you had a commercial that played, and I can't remember what tournament it was. Very metal, just burning antlered disc golf basket. Yeah, the commercial this year looked like you got control of the funnest place in St. Louis, basically.
Yes, which is like, after you show it, we'll talk about the possibility, like everybody needs to pay attention to the potential for a tournament actually happening at this place.
All right, let me go ahead and play it right now. This is the new Dark Ace commercials. If you've got your phone turned all the way up, I warned you.
Turned all the way.
Thank God, you're this, you're turning blue. You haven't shown good, but everything gets us up to you. No, get a field of truth.
Yep.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. So before we get too deep into it, I got to know, because I think there are a lot of people who watch the show, and we're kind of an industry forward show.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Did you know someone? Was it a cold call?
Yeah. So that place it's called the City Museum.
Mm-hmm.
It is, look up, like seriously, do yourself a favor and just Google it and go to images. It's unreal. Also try to find, there was some homies of mine did a skate video in there a long time ago too. That was really dope. But basically it's an adult playground that's like 5 or 6 stories. We didn't even cover, we just went to the roof. You didn't even get to see any of it. But my buddy JC, who actually runs a thing called So No Problem, look that up. So No Problem. I think it might be So No Problem Disc Golf on Facebook. But he actually did an event there. This was now 4 months ago, where he did, it was basically this, like, they set up 42 baskets throughout the whole thing, right?
Okay.
And they had it was like 42 holes basically, but like all like putter style, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just came through and you got a little player pack, and then you just went and found the holes and played the holes, and like that one in the commercial where you're throwing off of the top of the castle. That was one of them. There was also one where that bridge that we go across.
Mm-hmm.
You had to putt across that into the castle.
Just like straight across the suspension bridge.
Yeah. Like it was absolute insanity and so much fun. Because like for us here in St. Louis, anybody that's grown up in St. Louis used to go there as a kid, right?
Yeah.
And you would just run around. There's slides and caverns and all, dude, it's nuts. So, and you just run, like the whole idea behind it is you just run around and have fun, right? So this was like, when he did this, it was literally like being able to do that, but with disc golf and as an adult. So like, it was unreal. So then, for the commercial, for those that haven't seen the first one's a little bit more like kind of storyboardish, if you will. Like dramatized style.
I wish I had it still. It's like the story of a ritual almost. It's very
So for this one, I wanted to take influence from like old school skate videos where like you literally like are jumping in the van and they
barge a spot.
Yeah, just where's the skate spot, and we're gonna go there and we're gonna sneak in or sneak around or whatever and hit the spot and roll out, right? So that was the premise behind it, and we had been looking around like downtown St. Louis a lot, and then one day I was just like, why haven't I thought to just hit up the guy that I hang out with all the time, JC, and ask if we can shoot inside the city museum? So yeah, I hit him up and he was like, yeah, so no problem, which is our hashtag so no problem.
So no problem.
So no problem. Exactly. You're getting it. You're getting it.
So no problem.
So no problem.
It's like no harm, no foul. So no problem.
Yeah, literally like this. It's this dude. I messaged him. I was like, hey man, I need some T signs for Sunday. So no problem. So, but
yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so he was just like, yeah, so no problem. Let's do it. And boom. Next thing I know, I'm shooting a commercial in like this place that I used to run around as a 10-year-old kid, and getting to do it with disc golf. And yeah, it's still.
I get it. So you're 100% creative control of everything that happens with Dark Ace Apparel, right? Like that's you, period, right?
Yeah. So Dark Ace for the last just about a year has been just me.
Right.
So basically, I kind of been running the ship, and that's I'm hopefully finding some people here soon, because it's definitely hitting a point where like you try to do as much as you can by yourself, but there's a lot that gets lost whenever you're trying to do that much. So hopefully I will be bringing on some people here soon, and we'll have to have another episode where we introduce them and all that.
But I guess my question, like making the commercial, I want to know like who worked on the commercial with you? Do you have dudes with equipment, dudes with editing? Are you doing all of that? That's kind of I want to know, like, there are people out there who are watching the show going, man, I really want to start a brand, or I really want to get into like this disc golf marketing thing. What does it look like? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So actually the two people that helped me with the commercial, my buddy Harry Boston, which his Instagram is WTF did Harry shoot. He's the absolute man. He also shot the first commercial too, which is pretty sick. And I'm just double checking on this right now because Cody. So, and then the other guy that he brought on this time was a guy named Cody Briner, which is Cody.BRINER on Instagram.
Got it.
So them as a team was really awesome to work with, because Harry was just like, yeah, let's go check out some spots. Then let's go and do this. And like it was just super easy to work with the whole time, and they're like being creative, and then I'm like shooting ideas at them, and they're spinning off of that. And it was just super fun to work with them. Cody had he brought in his drone, which is where we got that drone footage and everything.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Super sick to do. Was almost like imperative of filming at that location. Like
how can you not get that rooftop, that glory shot of the rooftop where just like look at the Ferris wheel and the castle and the slide? It's like,
yeah. Which I'll neither confirm nor deny whether we were in legal parameters doing that or not. But
yeah, if you can hack those drones, the FAA can't do shit for you. Yeah, you know. Yeah.
But yeah, like just finding, I guess, finding good people to work with on a creative aspect is also imperative. You know, like I had an idea, and working with people that not only can just bring that idea to life, but also like are inspired by the idea and excited by the idea and want to spin off of that idea, was truly amazing to work with, because they went all out. And honestly, here's one thing I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
That last shot where like I'm like punching the screen.
Yeah.
I showed up. Harry had everything. I showed up at his house. This was like a month after we got done shooting, and he's like, "Here's what we got." And I'm like, "There's something missing," and I was like, "Here's what I'm thinking." And we literally walked into his front yard and we shot that last bit. And
I just need like a pow, like we're here, motherfucker. Let's go, like that sort of thing, right?
Yeah, and he literally just boom put it together. We made it happen, and yeah, there it is.
You got a lot into that commercial. Like that commercial's got. I saw so much stuff. I saw socks. I saw hats. I saw new logos. I saw old logos. I saw shots. I saw, that was a very action-packed commercial. How many, was it one day at the venue total?
Yeah, we did it one day. So we woke up. The crew was actually super pumped because originally the idea was to wake up at 4, get to the space at 5. We were going to do this whole thing where we load
the sunset ellipse. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we were going to get the whole thing. Like that was the idea. Like we were going to hop in a van and get drone shots of us driving down the highway in the van with the sunrise hitting the arch and all this shit.
Yeah. The arch. You got to have the arch, right?
You got to have the arch in there.
How close can you get a drone to the arch? Not at all.
No. No, I don't think. I think Cody was saying that any further than where we were into downtown, like would be an issue. Like he was
like
there's a hard cutoff. Yeah.
So what time did you end up getting there?
Yeah, so we ended up starting around like 6:30, 7 in the morning. We had to be. So the thing is that the City Museum opens at 9, right? Mm-hmm. So we had to be out of there at 9. And this is a place where like there will be a line at 8 o'clock starting to like, and so by 9 o'clock it's like around the corner and whatever.
This is PM?
AM.
Oh, so you had like 2 hours.
Yeah, so we had 2 hours to get. Yeah.
I thought you were there for like 9 hours, dude.
No.
Like you got shots, you got the shot down the slide with 2 hours?
Yeah, we got all that.
Is this on a DSLR? Is that with like a Canon or something?
I don't know. I can't remember what. Okay. I think he might be using a Canon, but I can't remember. You'll have to hit him up. But
2 hours. Did you guys have like a battle plan? Did you draw this out on a whiteboard? Like it?
We had. I had talked to everybody about kind of what the idea was, but outside of that, man, like we literally like kind of spitballed a lot of it on the spot, and then it was just like boom, like everybody just shut up, listen to what's going to happen. Cool. All right, go. Do it.
Do it. That one looked good. Let's go.
Yeah, move on. Like we got to make moves, and so like, and I think that really added to the whole thing too, because everybody was like, we got to do this, and as few as takes as possible, and then like it's time to go on to the next thing.
What made you change from 4 a.m. to 6:30 a.m.? Was it drinking?
No,
I'm joking. Because I've done a lot of like, I'm gonna get up at 5. I'm gonna get up at 6:30.
Well, so
yeah,
it was a lot of so several of the people within that were going to be coming to film, myself included, had work industry jobs that would have had us like working until like right around 11:30 midnight, some later, and so like then waking up at 4 o'clock to be somewhere at 5 o'clock with like 3 hours of sleep, and then doing a commercial, like just talking to them about that, but then also talking to Harry and Cody about like, do we really need this? Or like, and honestly, like we went into that day being like with the consideration of just people's sleep and well-being. And the idea was to shoot all of that and then be like, okay, let's look at this. Do we want to go back and shoot the like scene of us driving down the highway with the sunset?
Is that later? You can do that on Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And then the other thing about it too is like, it's a van driving down the highway. Do we really need everybody to come out for that?
Shutterstock.com. Let me find that.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
So we just ended up on deciding that it wasn't even necessary. It would have added a little bit to it, but with having to cut everything down to 30 seconds, and that it just would have added more shit to our plate. So.
Yeah, we did a commercial with somebody had to make one putt, but they had to make it like 40 times for us to do it. Took us like 7 hours. It was great. Yeah, awesome. One putt. Has your personal disc golf game gotten better or worse in the last year and a half?
It has gotten better.
Really?
Slowly but surely.
With all of this work you're putting into Dark Age, like all the time punching the keys.
So it's funny you say that. So I mean, so there's it's a double-edged sword, right?
Uh-huh.
So for example, I have decided that if I am running a tournament, or a lot of times even vending at a tournament, I'm not playing that tournament anymore. Like that's just it's too much. Yeah. I got to be there so much earlier than all the other players. Mm-hmm. I got to set up. I got to vend. I don't even get to go and warm up because you
don't get to eat lunch. You don't get to warm up.
Yeah, I mean, and then I'm just like, they're like, okay, like everybody get to their holes, and I gotta like hope that somebody's there. Like it's just too much mental. Like everybody knows that plays tournaments.
Yeah,
mental game is everything. And when I'm just like, I've already got all this other shit going on.
When you wake up at 6:30 instead of 4, and you're like, shit, I gotta get to the tournament. Yeah,
exactly. But the other side of that sword, with everything that's been going on, is that I have been fortunate enough to like hang out with some of the best in the game. Like being able to work on chip shots in the backyard on Thursday night with Greg Barsby will make you better at throwing forehands and chip shots. So that was cool, and then like getting to, after Maple Hill, me and him went up and did, and shout out to him for like actually like inviting me to these things, but he had 2 of these little leagues lined up. They were like random draw doubles. Yeah. And, the first one, like somebody's knocking at my door right now.
Okay, cool. I can run this. Go do your thing. Hey, it's me all by myself just for a minute until George gives me okay. I hope you guys are doing well. Let me plug a couple of things again real quick. Please go check us out on social media. The most important one at this point is YouTube. The reason being that's where all the algorithmic stuff really happens. Thanks a lot. Like I said, George will be right back. I'm Adam. Welcome to this. I'm drinking now a Bearded Iris home style. This is their flagship IPA. This is like I would say the Tropicalia of Tennessee. It's 6%. Big old, look at that black and gold can again. Black and gold again. I don't know if you guys are getting all that. All right, George is back to save me from this. I think he just got an Amazon package. Did you get a package, George?
Shipping labels. Hey.
Oh, hey. You're not using Pirate Ship yet?
Dude, what's that?
Are you using Pirate Ship to ship?
No, I do everything through Amazon. Or not Amazon, Shopify.
Shopify? Okay, cool. I'm Squarespace. I'm using Pirate Ship. And Pirate Ship's cheap.
Yeah, let's talk about that after the episode. But if anybody, like honestly, like I have a guy that does my website all through Shop. He created the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Gets us a really great deal on Shopify. He's a disc golfer. His name's Zach Dummerth. He's the shit. Okay. If anybody wants his contact info and is looking to get a website done up for a great price, but also from somebody that is working within our community, reach out, let me know.
Well, say the name one more time. Let's give him the proper shout out.
Yeah, Zach Dummerth.
All right, good. Zach Dummerth. Yeah, that should be easy enough to find. All right, so we were just talking about your disc golf game since in the last 18 months, and you said You're hanging out with Greg Barsby doing chip shots in the backyard. I'm assuming at an Airbnb or something. You're in the presence of greatness, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like we went out and did these like couple of leagues together, and getting to play rounds with him, and he's just like, here's what you're doing, here's what you're doing wrong. Also, I almost got ironically, I don't have an ace yet.
Ever?
Ever. Haven't gotten one. Dude, I've chained out, hit cage, all types of shit. It's ironic. The day it happens, you'll hear about it.
An ace is just a bad shot gone right.
That's right.
That's right.
Sometimes. But I almost aced in front of Barsby. Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I want to ask you too. You guys, I want to get to the team. So you said the Diamonds are sponsored by you guys. You guys have a team of some sort, right?
So we don't have an official team. We are going to have one this coming year.
Okay, so 2022 is team year for y'all.
Yes, and I am so stoked. Like legitimately, I will be reaching out to you about an announcement because I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'm not gonna have a huge team.
Right.
I'm not opening submissions or anything like that yet. And the reason behind that is the way that I want to do sponsorships is like kind of what I got from like seeing like skater sponsorships back in the day, where like it was a real sponsorship, right? It wasn't like a bunch of people like where the money is like spread thin and like a few people just kind of get a little bit,
or the Prodigy street team where you pay to be on it because you buy stuff at a discount.
Yeah, and I mean nothing against anybody that's going with that model. It's just not the one that I want to go with.
Sure, there are 1,000 ways to skin this cat. So,
yeah, as of right now, like I'm gonna have at this moment three players that let's just say you're all gonna know them very, very soon.
So my next question, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you already know them, but you're gonna know them on a bigger level, and it's gonna be awesome. And I'm so pumped for these three players and honored to be like talking with them. So yeah.
I'm going to move a question down a slot because I'm afraid I'm going to blow your shit up if I don't.
Okay.
And you're saying you're going to do this smaller team, a more intense team, a team that's more intrinsic with your brand too, because if you have a team where you're supporting them harder and there's a smaller team, they are going to feel the stake in you as a person. It all makes sense. It's like Shorties. The Shorties Fulfill the Dream video. That should be what disc golf's doing right now, and they're kind of missing the mark. But is there something that maybe between the folks that you've thought about, or the folks that you've approached, and the folks that you're going to announce, what would be the common thread between those people?
Oh, that's a great question. To me, it's definitely between the three is personality, right? Uh-huh. And drive. Like all three of these players, like just represent pure gold as people, but like when it comes to like drive and what they're trying to do in this sport, mm-hmm. is just like it hits you right in the face. Like you can't deny these people are in it for the right reasons and are dedicated to like taking on the next level and the next level and the next level. Yep. And yeah, I'm giddy. I'm real giddy.
You look giddy. You sound giddy. You listen to giddy music. I get that. I'm going to skip the next question because I don't want to do it to you because I'm pretty sure I would have just like blown it out for you. However, I want to know now, what's the relationship between you and the band Whitechapel? I want to hear how this all happened.
Oh, dude, wild story. So shout out to Trevor Harbolt. He's been like a long time homie. Like since
that was the next question I had. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So Trevor was one of like damn near day one people on the Instagram family that was like, yo, this shit. Let's talk. And like me and him have just become so close over the last couple of years. And it's really awesome to call him a friend. But he had made the connection because Whitechapel's his favorite band. Mm-hmm. He found out they played disc golf. He got a hold of their manager, is the story. Was like, I want to play disc golf with you guys. He then took them to play disc golf for the first time. Actually, no, their first time playing disc golf ever was actually at Maple Hill, which is just insane to me.
Mine was Renaissance Gold, so yeah.
Nice. Okay. You guys are nuts. But long story short, Dark Ace starts going, and this guy follows me on Instagram, and I'm like it was a private. I try to like look at like everybody that follows us to like be like, you know, like show them some love or whatever and see who they are and like kind of build a relationship. Well, this guy's thing was private at first, so I'm like, follow it, and it was like pictures of like food and like cocktails and stuff. I'm like, oh, dope. Like, but his handle was Eats on Tour, and I'm like, I'm not gonna like ask, you know, but let's just keep tabs on this. And then one day the dude just like reaches out to me and he's like, hey man, like, I don't know if you know who I am, but like, I'm Gabe. I play bass in this band called Whitechapel. And I'm like, oh, cool. Very cool.
Oh, I fucking know, bro. Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, I love your stuff. And like, whatever. And then, yeah, we started talking more and we became homies as well. And, you know, he would snack some stuff and rep some stuff. Well, then obviously we all know about Whitechapel doing the zone with the blade on it. And so I reached out to him and I was like, hey man, you guys did the disc with Discraft. You want to do the shirt with me? And next thing I know, I'm in an email chain with Gabe and Alex, the guitar player, about this collab. And yeah, just did a collab with Whitechapel.
It was that easy, you know?
It was crazy. I mean, well, it sounds like that at the end, right? But if you think about this, if you think about it like this just, I mean, like, what was that? 2 months ago that we launched that?
Maybe 3.
And,
maybe.
I started talking to Gabe and Trevor like a year and a half ago. I mean, this is a long, like, easy at the end, maybe, but like in the grand scheme of like, just, it was more of a relationship that was built over time. And then just, I had to ask the question.
It's a question I'm going to get to later, but there's this kind of common thread between you and I and some of the other smaller, I don't want to say smaller, the other kind of counterculture disc golf movements, disc golf deals, where it's kind of like we all kind of look at each other and go, yeah, you're good. I trust you. I don't trust these guys. The counterculture is going to start banding together. I have a feeling in disc golf pretty soon.
I really believe it.
You got any more Whitechapel stuff coming out or any other music crossovers that you're going to do?
So I am working on other music crossovers. So I mean, kind of that just goes hand in hand with the brand. Like the thing with Whitechapel was a long time goal, not only like doing it with them, but more so like doing it with bands, right?
Yeah.
And so the goal for next year that we're talking about is kind of like every other month will be a band collab, right? So I am talking to a couple bands. I don't want to give away anything just yet because it's not actually, no, one is pretty locked in. I can say this one. And if it backfires on me, then fuck it.
So be it. It's the counter DIY or die, my man.
Yeah. But I am talking to a band out of Florida called Body Snatcher.
Okay.
And for those that haven't heard that band, just simply look up a song called King of the Rats and like
King of Rats.
No, King of the Rats.
King of the Rats. Excuse me.
And then just go punch your grandma in the face. Like
it's gonna make you do it. You don't have a choice. You don't have to tell them to do it. They're gonna hear King of the Rats and just like, sorry, Granny, I gotta do this.
And I'm also talking to, and I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a for sure thing because they've just been homies for a long time. But this really sick thrash band called War Curse.
Okay.
They've been longtime supporters, so I'm talking to those guys as well.
What a name!
Fucking awesome.
Like how did that slip through the 70s without getting snatched up? You know what I mean? Like all the good band names that you think of were 78, 79. But,
yeah, War Curse though, and also they're on the same level or label as Whitechapel, so we kind of have this goal where we want to do a disc golf battle between the two. But
yeah,
hopefully one of these days.
That would be amazing. Would you? Given the way you toured around, because you did, like I said, USDGC, you went to Maple Hill. Were those the two big ones you did this year?
Yes. So, excuse me. Yeah. So I wasn't able to make it to Ledgestone this year. I wasn't able to make it to a lot of stuff early on. So it was basically like I did Maple Hill. Excuse me. I did Maple Hill, and then I came back for St. Louis Open. My plan was to be at Music City, but wasn't able to make it due to inventory reasons. Due
Oh
to
wow. Well, that's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah, no, it was very enlightening. And then went out to USDGC. Well, also I have to give a shout out to Kyle from Kyle and then Brendan, who both represent another round out in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, they have the bars, right? Or they used to have the bars before COVID,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they still have the bar inside of it. Yeah, but if you guys aren't familiar with Another Round, look them up. They're amazing. But Brendan actually put me in touch with Kyle, the owner of Another Round, because they were hosting this big A tier, actually at like Charlotte's Nest and Scrapyard and a couple other places within Charlotte called the Carolina Clash.
Yeah. Big deal tournament. That's a coveted trophy.
Yeah, and Kyle actually, like, between talking with Brendan and then Kyle, like, I was able to vend that the weekend before USDGC. So basically, I was in Charlotte for a couple of weeks and got to vend it. Carolina.
I wish I knew. That's 3 hours from my house. Next time you're in Charlotte, I need a phone call. I'm right down the road.
Yeah.
I'll come hang out. This is going to sound, I don't mean to sound cruel or anything, but was it worth it? Did it make sense? And would you advise someone in your position to do it?
Yes, all day.
100%.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the thing about it is that so the purpose between so for both of those tournaments, right? To get to Maple Hill was a 14-hour drive, right? And I stopped in Pittsburgh. Then I came back into the St. Louis Open. And then I drove from St. Louis to Charlotte, which that was 11 and a half hours, right? Now, like, the whole purpose behind that was simply to see if I could be, like, profitable, like, or even just break even.
Break even, yeah.
Being that far away from home, right?
And you nailed it, huh?
Yeah, it was awesome, dude. I mean,
yeah.
I unfortunately, due to a funny story where I accidentally told my girlfriend that I was in Charleston instead of Charlotte.
Autocorrect.
Well, no, this was like in-person conversations where, yeah. So I actually went down. I had to go from Charlotte to Charleston for 2 days, which unfortunately made me miss out on the first day of vending. But
did you do any drinking in Charleston when you were down there?
Yes, we did.
Did you go to the Gilded Horn?
Did not.
Gilded Horn was fucking rad, bro. You would have loved it.
I wish I could remember the name of the dive that we ended up in, because we ended
Royal American, I bet.
No, not the Royal. It was what was the first one you said?
Gilded Horn was like a little. It's a bar in the college area where it's like 6 seats, but everything is like ram's horns. It's all very metal looking.
We found this bar that was in an alley. Yeah, and it was all like service industry people just getting hammered on a Monday.
Oh man. Was it like all red lit on the inside with like velvet and like a bunch of Polaroids on the wall?
I think maybe there was an upstairs with pool tables.
Yeah, dude. So I went to a bunch of dive bars in Charleston. Loved every single one of them. But there's one I went to, and I was like, everyone said to go there. This is where all the service industry people go, because that's all I do is I go to bars, buy Fernet, and say, where do you drink when this place closes? Right? That's the Fernet is if you guys don't know this, I'm going to give away a secret here. If you go into a bar and you buy a shot of Fernet, you get to ask the bartender any question you want to ask them ever. It's like a secret handshake to bartenders. So you go, hey man, where can I go that's not a tourist trap? Thanks for the Fernet. And then you get to go, you're no longer a tourist. It's like a trick. Yeah. But yeah, that's awesome. Charleston's fun, but I'm sorry that it fucked a day up for you. But
yeah, it's totally worth it. I still have my wonderful girlfriend. We still had 2 wonderful days together. Yes. But that all to say that even with like 3 days of vending and one of those days being like super rainy, it was still like, I mean, the networking alone, the being able to like be a part of that community, even more so. And then the sales were great. Like there's something about whenever you're doing something that is different from those that are even like immediately around you, where people will just like notice it and they want to support it. And that's just crazy to me. And I'm super appreciative, but like literally there were just people that were like, I can't believe this is a thing. Or like people would bring their friends back on the second day and be like, yeah, we had to bring our friend. We told him there was a metal disc golf brand, and they didn't believe us. So like, yeah, I mean, also I would just recommend it to anybody, because I mean, like, what's like at the end of the day, what do you like? You're gonna get a great experience out of it, and like it's also like a good way of knowing like if it's a viable endeavor, or to learn what potentially you're doing, you're not doing that you could be doing, right?
Yeah. Any advice for the guy who's about to throw 50 t-shirts in the back of his car and drive 2 hours to a tournament to sell them?
Get a good display.
Okay.
Like seriously, that so if
get a grid wall, get a mannequin.
Get a grid wall, like one of the stand ones. The difference, so all the way up until USDGC, I was like literally like laying my shit on a table. So you've got, and I don't have like, you know, one of those like $1,000 plus tents that has my brand all over the top. It's a fucking $40 Walmart pop-up tent with like a little banner that's like zip tied hanging down. So like,
hey man, don't grab that side too hard, it's bent. Yeah, one of those.
But like, so you can't, like when everything's laying on the table, like I'm having to like, and don't get me wrong, I love working hard. So, but I was having to work real hard. Like, hey, like people, as soon as they would look at me, I'm talking to them, like trying to get them over, as opposed to like with the grid wall, the standing grid wall, you can literally like, and so you get a grid wall, and then you get those little bitty little clips, the black clips.
Yep.
Right. So you get those black clips, and you literally just clip your shirt up in a way to where it's like just the design and shows off what like style it is. And people will walk by and they will be able to actually look at it from 10 feet away, instead of you having to drag them over to look at down at the table. Right.
This is the merch booth at a concert concept.
Yeah. Yes.
That's not hard.
No,
you know,
no, you just have to pay attention to things. And like, I mean, the goal for next year is to, you know, have one of those really good tents. And I mean, dude, I was at I can't remember what concert. I was at this concert in upstate New York recently, and it was like a big festival thing, but they had like, these people had like on, instead of like a back wall in the tent, it was like they had, they were using bungee cords, right? And then the bungee cords had like these little hooks on them, like little S hooks. And then those little S hooks like had a string, and like it was this whole setup where they had all of their shirts, like every single design beautifully displayed. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there like, holy shit, this is the future. Like, this is amazing. Like,
there is an art to a tent decoration for a merch vendor. There really is.
Yeah.
Man, that's yeah, we bought a tent. I have the $100 Amazon pop-up. I've used it a couple of times, but yeah, no, it sounds like you got it figured out. I want to know what's the 5-year plan? Like where do you see this in 5 years? You know, this was a big year for disc golf. Next year will be bigger. We might have a sophomore slump in 2023. Mm-hmm. Where is Dark Ace going to be in 2026?
Yeah, so the vision is, honestly, I mean, at that point, I want multiple people that are like representing Dark Ace, like as far as booths and everything go, like on the road, right? So I mean, the game plan for next year already is like for me to be on the road while we still have somebody here at home running like representation at local tournaments. Like, I mean, the thought of doing a brick and mortar is there, but also like I'm kind of trying to weigh the options on like where it's the whole brick and mortar thing is definitely going to be determined by whether the supply on discs decides to be good again.
Right. Yeah. They start rehiring after COVID, basically.
Yeah. I mean, the people that are being able to be sustainable right now are the people that have been doing it for like forever and have had like thousands upon thousands of discs for a while, you know? But yeah, I mean, I foresee it becoming a thing where like we're hosting various tournaments. I mean, I'm working with the USDGC doubles crew a lot more starting next year. They want me to do a lot more and like basically be their Midwest ambassador and run all the Midwest events. So okay, working with that and building that side of things as well. But I think in 5 years, like we're just going to be like the edgy disc golf brand that is just like every other disc golf company, but where you can come and get any disc you want. You can come and get Sick Apparel. You can come and get these things. Except it's going to have our personal take on every single one of those, as opposed to just simply, whatever.
Just fitting in, just selling polos, right?
Yeah, it's just gonna be.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah. What is the culture of disc golf good right now? Was this week a bad week for disc golf culture? I think it was. I think it was a really bad week for disc golf culture.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And depending on where you looked at it, if you looked at it on Twitter, it was better than you looked at it at Reddit. Yeah. At Reddit, the ratio was a little off.
Yeah, I don't even have a Twitter. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Sure, Cam. I tagged you, and then I was like, oh, they've never tweeted.
Yeah, I need.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Do we need you need a spot? You good? Oh, you're just drinking. I got you.
Yeah. Before we start talking about this week, I
don't want to get too crazy into it because, and the reason I don't, it's not that I'm afraid to talk about it, but the things that needed to be said were said on Smashbox with Natalie Ryan, and that is where you should be getting your information about the subject. You shouldn't be getting it from me, cis white male Wesolowski over here. You know what I mean? Like you should go to Smashbox, you should watch the Natalie Ryan interview, and that's how you should understand the issue. Is how I feel.
It's the same reason why cis white males shouldn't be the ones that are standing up for the FPO division. Yes. Oh, you're being the saviors of the FPO field. Like,
that was a bad sentence. I hope Prodigy asked him not to put it in there, and he put it in there anyway, kind of thing. Like
you're all these dudes that are trying to do that. It's like, yo, just slow your roll and let the FPO field say what they want to say, which is come like for the majority opposite of what you're trying to say. And also, yes, like you said, go watch the Smashbox interview with Natalie Ryan.
That's the one.
Learn something. Like, I saw that and I got questioned about it. I've already been questioned about it a couple times.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, listen, like I've got like several like trans friends, and I know exactly what they go through on a daily basis and what transitioning is like. And
it's unfathomable to me that there are some people in the world who have forgotten what it feels like to hurt someone's feelings.
Yeah. Well,
when you were a kid and the first time you hear someone's feeling, it hits you in the stomach and you felt worse than they did because you did that to them. Yeah. And now on the internet, people have just pushed it down. They're like, it might hurt some feelings. Fuck it. Like, no, man, you've not lived this. You haven't experienced it. You don't get to make that choice. It's not your call to say these things. Honestly, it's how I feel.
I only have two things, and the one thing I said to my buddy Ian over at North Bar last night, we were talking about it. I'm like, one, the guy's trying to be Dave Chappelle, but as a white dude, like
a whole other issue. Yeah,
can't make those points, dude. You can't make those points. And secondly, like my other thought is this, like, and I don't even know if this is like a good point or not. It might even be worth like this like discussion, but it's like, dude, as a dude, right? As a like a guy that might be able to like run faster or lift more than some of these FPO players, I guarantee you right now, any one of them is kicking my fucking ass all over.
Sure. And that's one argument, and that's a mathematical argument. That's an argument you can back up with statistics. But I will say to that argument, and I want to take it to like 60,000 feet.
Yeah.
Men invented all of the fucking sports. Of course, we're better at them. They're all throwing sports. We throw better because our center of gravity is higher. We invented all these fucking sports. So of course, when people say, well, women don't throw as far. Yeah, their center of gravity is not in their shoulders, idiot. Like we invented throwing sports, so we would be good at something. Like this issue is much more ancient than we're giving it credit for when people argue about who's good and who's bad at it. But
here's the point that I want to make, and anybody that's ever given instruction or listened to instruction on how to like to throw far, right? So first off, we all know as disc golfers that just because you can throw far doesn't mean that you're going to be fucking better at disc golf, because it's
Right.
fucking golf. And like the person that is the Michael Johansons of the world, who are setting like course records left and right and can't throw, like, don't even want to attempt to throw 450 feet.
Doesn't
like,
matter. Yeah.
They're just playing good golf the whole time and they're still kicking your ass, right? The other thing is, though, so there's that. There's just like good golf players, right? This is a sport that there's an equalizer element.
Right.
But even in the respect of talking about being able to throw far, because I feel like that's where everybody that has an issue with this wants to talk about. Like, oh, they're going to be
The power differential is what they want to talk about.
Like what does every like major player say about throwing? Smooth is far. So form,
slow is smooth and smooth is far.
Yeah, better form is. So I want you to look at. I want you to look at like these top pros, FPO and otherwise. Look at Haley King's form. Look at a girl named Hannah Hoon.
Haley King looks like Eagle McMahon. She's the same wrist, or the elbow cock and the snap is almost the same. It's the form. It's the form.
I want everyone to go look up Hannah Hoon. Like, that's HANNAHUYNH is what I believe it is.
Yes.
And I want you to watch her form and tell me, like, that you could stand a fucking chance. Like, you're not.
You're going to beat Paige Pierce at putting league? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Like, the argument is just, it's so silly, because literally it only comes into play when the discussion of throwing far is in.
Right. And let me just say, and not to diminish your point, but let me just say that the physical throwing far part of this is not what is so offensive. Mm-hmm. What's so offensive is that you're using the wrong nomenclature. You're saying to this person who has spent their life trying to figure out who the fuck they are, that you don't believe who they are. You're saying you don't get to choose that, and that's offensive as fuck. You can't look at somebody and say, no, I hear, oh, William, you want to be called Bill now? No, I'm calling you William. Like, no, not your call. This has been decided by this other person. It's the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, right? So if the reason you think life is unfair and you think that you should be mean to other people is because somebody across the table from you doesn't abide by the golden rule. You've been done wrong, so you're going to do wrong. Well, there's only way to fucking stop that, right? So when you use the wrong terminology on Twitter and you get a rise out of people and you dip out of the conversation, somebody made a comment, you farted in the room and you left. That was the best analogy for what happened on Twitter the other day. Now, here's the deal. Quit being shitty. Like, just let people be who they want to be. Who gives a fuck? It's not up to you. Sorry, I'm on. Welcome to my TED Talk. You know what I mean? But Jesus Christ, guys, like, it's, you know what it's going to do. You know what it's going to do when you say it. And you say it because it's the off season. You need fucking clicks. I'm sorry. We're Frolfcenter's canceled. This is probably the last episode now that I've said this.
I will go. Hey, this is going to be only funny because you're wearing a captain's thing, but I'll go down the ship with you, bud.
Oh, yeah, go to the ship with me. I look like a yacht captain. I'm not the guy you're not going to. I look like a billionaire. Why are you listening to me? You know what I mean? But Jesus.
No, I completely agree. Like, anybody it's just live your fucking life. Yeah. And
stay in your fucking lane, bro. Like, fucking stop.
It's not that hard. And also, like you said, he literally was doing that. And I had another like comparison for him, but like, I mean, we're already getting canceled, so whatever. But like, it really reminded me of like something like Donald Trump would do.
Yeah.
You're saying something to get a rise out of people,
and not to be apolitical, but just to bring this into like there is a marketing aspect to being controversial.
Yes,
that's and disc golf wasn't used to it. We have Brody Smith who does it a little milder, but he does it the same way. Announcing a hot take is like saying, "Hey guys, real quick, I'm gonna take a shit in the middle of the room. Just want to let you know." I mean, hot take, like, stop. You should as well say clickbait.
You know what? Here's this.
I'm angry.
I'm not tooting my own horn or anything like that. But
sure.
Have you ever heard, like, even in like the commercials that we've done or any? Have you ever heard like any time where we're just like, hey, like I completely am like anti-religion and this, that, and the other thing, or like, which I'm like, you know, to each their own, whatever.
Sure.
No, I just put out this shirt.
Yeah. The Black Flag Dark Age shirt.
Like, you want to be controversial, like be
Right.
controversial, but like there's ways of doing that aren't just like begging for attention. You know what I'm saying? Like,
There's this whole thing I have in my head. When I was a kid, and all of the adults that I respected, my parents, my teachers, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, said to you, hey, be a good person. And they weren't saying that because it was some like kindergarten, caring, sharing, play well with others bullshit. It's because they've seen the world as bad as it is and said, maybe, just maybe, you can be better than we were. And then everybody who got to like 6th grade got done wrong once and said, nah, fuck it. I'm gonna be evil now. I'm gonna screw people over because I've gotten screwed over. Like, this is a self-perpetuating problem. We know what this is. I think we need to put a button in this because we're going this is getting a little crazy.
all good. I'm glad we talked about it.
Yeah, I am too, but I want to make sure that we aren't going to get more clicks than Natalie Ryan's interview on Smashbox. We are not the guys. This is it. We're having a conversation between a couple of buddies, whatever. If you want to delve into the subject, go listen to Natalie Ryan on Smashbox. That's what you have to do.
Do it.
But it begs a good point. The counterculture entities in disc golf are important for this very reason, because counterculture inherently is inclusive, because we look past everything and just say, oh, you like this band? I like this band. Come over here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're this guy. You're this girl. Come on, let's hang out. Counterculture is the way to keep disc golf diverse and healthy and working toward equality. Is there enough counterculture in disc golf right now?
I think there's more and more all the time. I think that, you know, from brands like my homies over at North Par Apparel and also Anheuser Club, like they're doing some really cool like different things. Also, my homies that run a page called HXC Disc Golf, Disc Golf. I'm just gonna make sure I have that Instagram right, like for all those out there. Yeah,
feel free if you want to, George. After this, go back to the YouTube and just like you can tag them all.
Yeah, those guys literally are building the sport, growing the sport in the Boston hardcore scene by posting videos of them playing disc golf and videos of them going to hardcore shows, and then like telling people in the hardcore scene about disc golf. Like, it's amazing what they're doing, right? And there's a couple other brands that are slipping my mind right now that are definitely trying to do some things. What's weird is like it's just like you know how like Metallica shirts and like Nirvana shirts ended up at your Target. You know, like, so you definitely you have to be aware of that too. Like, I've noticed that's a big thing now, where literally like somebody tagged me in something the other day that was like, whoa, this looks like it would be a Dark Ace thing, and it was like this evil as fuck like skeleton thing that was, I don't know, it was nasty. And I was like, I want to go look at the rest of this brand stuff, and like I went to their website and it's all just like, no, they decided to do like one evil thing because it's like cool to do at, you know,
Halloween season, the spooky season, man.
Whatever it might have been, Halloween, or like, you know, I've seen it. It's weird that like you can see on disc stamps, like people will do like super evil stuff on disc stamps, and like people love that stuff, but like I don't know.
Nobody does it. Only a couple people do it.
I think that the counterculture is growing rapidly, though. I mean, you've got like, let's talk about Nathan Queen, right?
Yeah.
Like, this dude like has been on the grind and like has been doing very well. And, like, since I know, I mean, I've only been playing for a few years, but since I started watching him, every time he's hitting a big putt, boom, horns are up, like whatever.
Yeah, horns are up.
And then he goes out and wins like with 0% people betting on him, like true.
Not even 0%, but 0 people. Like, not even statistical 0.
Yeah.
Absolute 0. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he goes out and wins like the biggest thing, the biggest payout in disc golf history. Like, that's counterculture coming like bring it to the forefront. So now, like with him, I mean, who knows where like the spirit that counterculture is going to have in this? You know, I definitely think that there could be. I would like to see other countercultures come into play within disc golf. I as again, I'll preface this as like, you know, as we prefaced our thing with talking about Natalie, like, I'm a white dude, but I want to see more black dudes playing disc golf. And
100%. I mean, I want to see everybody playing disc golf. I want the sport to grow in the world.
And I would love to know how to, like, you know, get more involved in that. But I would love to see like somebody do like almost like what I'm doing with like metal and disc golf, but with like hip hop and rap, and not saying that's exclusive to like any
but sure, yeah, absolutely. I would love to see someone take.
I mean, Murder Mike has been doing that like pretty well, but like
Murder Mike's got that Southern Cali sort of, that culture,
graffiti style, like, which is dope. But I think that there's a lot of countercultures that could definitely be more represented. Honestly, out of anything though, I definitely just want to see more diversity in our sport, which pisses like. I don't want to go back to our previous conversation. I'll end it this, which pisses me off so bad.
It's so bad. It's
so, like, moving forward, and these assholes want to fucking try to stop it in its tracks, and it's like, fuck you. It's moving forward. Be a part of the past, then. Like, but I do want to see, like, I want to see more inclusivity, and I want to see active. I want to see it become more like an active thing within our community, that we're reaching out to more people and bringing them into this thing that it's. Like at the end of the day, like something that has saved a lot of our lives, like, and can be done by anyone and anywhere, and it's cheap and like approachable, and like I just think that there's a lot of room to grow, even though it has grown so much. We still are like a long way off.
It's a funny thing. We're a subculture that has been dropped into the general culture. And we're fizzling out in certain corners of that, and that shouldn't be the case. This is an accessible sport. This is a sport that's everywhere. It's silly that it's still what it is in some aspects.
Like, I mean, do you have any ideas on how like we could, you know, do that? Like, what are the paths that need to be taken, like, to where we can be reached?
Sure. I think school programs are a big deal, especially if you can find a public school and maybe the inner city or somewhere where it's a minority majority area, and you get the EDGE program in there, and you say, hey, you know, y'all live within a mile of this course in the middle of the city. We're going to take you in gym class, and we're going to throw discs, and then you can go out there and throw discs at the course here. You know, Innova and the EDGE program, the PDGA with the EDGE program, I guess. You get into places where maybe the demographic doesn't match the fact that disc golf's there. And you say, I'm going to go to the schools. I'm going to get a PE program in there. But I think that's part of it. You just make it more. I mean, I hate to say make it more mainstream, because you and I are counterculture guys, but making disc golf a more mainstream thing in youth. I mean, that's what it is. Well, it's getting into schools. It's getting into schools.
I completely agree with you, and I'll just throw this out there that so I only started playing 3 years ago, but I recently found out that the disc golf course that is right next to where I went to high school opened up my freshman year of high school, and no one talked about it. No one, like, it was just a thing, and I had no idea about it. And like, I was like, you're telling me I could have been playing this when I was like 15 years old, and
right?
Maybe
I could be a pro instead of hawking t-shirts.
Whatever, you know.
Oh man, but. George, I think this is probably a good place to stop. Sure. I love seeing you. I'm glad to have you on the show. I hope we have you on every Halloween from now until the end of time. If that's okay with you.
I'm all about it. Sign me up. Where do I sign?
Hell yeah. And we will hit you up about New Year's. We want you back for 5 minutes on New Year's, if that's cool too.
Yeah. On that, I that was my way of being able to introduce myself to Steve Rico.
Yes.
I was like, hey, you might not know me, but my name's George, and I was on I
was on the show with you.
I was on the show with you.
Dude, and it's funny because Steve Rico was on the show, and I've hit him up to come on the show, and he hasn't responded.
Well, what the shit? What the shit?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think I said the wrong email, but
oh, whatever. But
George, I got to let you go, man.
Okay.
Thank you again. Happy Halloween. Much luck in the future. I hope to see you soon.
Thanks again for having me on. I really, really appreciate it. And this was an absolute blast. And yeah, I hope the same.
Thanks, bud. See ya. All right, guys. That got kind of heavy. I love everybody. I just wish some of y'all were a little more tolerant of everybody else. Love you guys. Happy Halloween. I'm going to get out of here. See you. Bye.